Today's question of the day is brought to you by YT Sexy Man HD. So he is a sexy man in HD on YouTube. What a fitting name. And he asks, who are your heroes? Not fictional ones, but real ones. So, who is a hero that is real for you? Or real to you? So, good thing, because I really don't read comic books. I don't know anything about Marvel or DC or any other type of comics that are out there. So don't ask me about those questions, because I cannot honestly tell you. The only thing I can tell you is about a movie, but that's besides the point. And I cannot say police officers or firemen, honestly, for me, that I do respect them. Don't get me wrong. They are great for the community. They help out a lot of people, and sometimes they could get in some messes of their own. And this is gonna be kind of a cliche, but hear me out on this one, because what I think that who is my hero would be my father. Now, with my father, he has always been supportive of me. He's very supportive of me doing YouTube, and that's why he actually allowed me to not go to school for a whole year to see if YouTube will actually do well for me. And now that it really hasn't done well for me, I am back in school and I'm getting my education and I'm gonna go work on getting a degree. But other than that, he's always been there for me. He tries to help me out. He tells me that this, and this. And of course, sometimes I kind of ignore him at times. But at the same time, I do truly respect him for always being supportive and trying to help me out. Because he's been living on this world longer, so he has a lot of wisdom. And a lot of it that he says is true. And then there's other aspects that he kind of does not know about, especially when it has to deal with the internet and all the other stuff. But in the real world type of aspect and the point of view, he's right about everything. Now, why is he a hero to me? Well, it's because he actually saved my life when I was young. And here's a story about that. There's an area out there way far from town that we could go fishing and just swim in the lake type of deal. But at times, the current there is very, very strong, and it was kind of the bad time of year to actually be there. So that river itself, it was kind of high, and the current was actually pretty strong. But there was a loading dock. Just as long as we stayed at the loading dock, we would not be carried away and we would not have any problems. So we were able to actually swim the area. Otherwise, we would just be sitting there bored out of our minds. So we were just swimming in the loading dock. We had our friends along with us as well. And for some odd reason, one of my friends had to swim with the flip-flops on in the strong current. Yeah, think about that combination for a second. And while swimming, after a while, one of the flip-flops just slipped out of the foot. And me instinctively, I actually just went for the flip-flop. And in doing so, the current actually carried me away and dragged me all the way towards the middle of the river. My parents saw it, everyone else saw it. My mother was kind of freaking out. My father saw me out there. He was going to take all his items out of his pocket so they don't get wet. Okay, I guess they're watering something out in the front. Okay. So he just tried to take items out of his pocket real quick, but then when he saw me get sucked under, that's when he just said, he just said screw it, and then he just said a short prayer and jumped in the water. And here's the thing, at that time, the river was really, really murky. You couldn't see 5 inches in front of your face. If you were to put your hand under the water, you would not even be able to see your hand. That's just how murky it was. And the water was up to my father's chin. And I think he was actually like 5'8" or 5'9" at the time. I do not remember the exact height, but it's just, of course, he was taller than me. I was smaller. I don't know. It was up to his chin and I was underwater. He couldn't see me. He did not know where I was. He just jumped where I was possibly located or last seen at. And he blindly just thrashed his arm about, trying to feel something. And he hit something with his hand, and he just grabbed it. And luckily, that thing was me. So he just brought me up to his chest, and he just carried me along the river. And the current was strong. And he nearly fell more than once, actually getting us both trying to get to shore. and if he would have slipped, the current would have carried him along too. It would have probably sucked him underwater as well, and we both could have possibly drowned. But luckily, we didn't drown. So he brought me up to shore. I was coughing out the water. I didn't have too much water in my lungs because last thing I remembered was just holding my breath and just closing my eyes and not even knowing what's happened. One moment I was in the water, next thing I knew, I was being dragged across and we are at the shore and everything was dry. I was able to breathe and not what was it called? There was no long sustaining damage done. So my father risked his life to actually save me. The flip-flops, however, they were gone. And there was we didn't want to actually yell at the kid because of the flip-flop incident, because that would have just made everything worse. But the only thing that was important, that I was okay. I didn't drown, he didn't drown, he risked his life to save mine, and that is why I respect him for, of course, being a father and his authority. Even though I get mad at him, sometimes he gets mad at me, but at the end of the day, we still love each other. And that's what's important too. But again, that is why he is my real hero. Again, cliched, but it works. It works. There's nothing else for me to say, honestly. I don't know what else can I actually say. He's always been there for me. He's supportive of me. And the only thing that he really wants to see from me, that I continue progressing. He does not want to see me just, I don't know. Let's just say that if I didn't make videos on YouTube, he just, like, if I were just to sit down and just play video games all day, he does not want to see that. He wants to see me progress, continue the education, continue with my job, and to be happy. Because the one thing that I did tell him, that I've always been looking for his approval or his acceptance. And he told me straight up that I should not be looking for his acceptance, or I should not always be asking for his approval. He has my full support. Or I have his full support. Rather, grammar here. Just, he's always supportive and he just wants to see me happy. Right then and there, I'm like, thank you. And that's why I'm trying to get better. I'm trying to become a better person, and I want to get my education. Although that is a backup plan, if I'm able to be successful on YouTube, I'm still going to get my education, because then that would be the backup plan and follow up or fall through, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know what it's called anymore. It's just, it's going to be there to always be a thing that I could have, and it's going to help me find a better job if YouTube never works out for me. So that's the end. That's the end of this question. And that question is, who are your real heroes, not fictional ones? Feel free to answer that in the comment section below, or if you want to make a video response, feel free to do so. Just tell me in the comment section that you made a video response so I can put it as an annotation. Mind you that there's a limited amount of space at the end of the video. So, thank you, Relaxing Dread. And now for the outro. I'm gonna always get that wrong. Just let it be a thing. I'm always gonna get that wrong. So if you guys have any questions for me to answer, feel free to leave them down in the comment section below. Or if you want to message me on Twitter or Facebook, you may do that as well. And if I do answer your question in a video, I will credit you verbally within that video. I will link your channel in the description of that video. And as well as that, I will annotate your video, or not the video, I will annotate your channel at the end of the video, giving you thanks for helping me out with something to do or something to talk about for that day. So, that's going to be the end. Have a great day, everyone. I am SirkleKing090, and as always, I will see you in the next video.